So a couple of things before we do that. Your Chapter 3 test is on Friday. Most of your assignments this week, it's a little bit different, are due on Thursday before class. So by 2 o'clock on Thursday for you guys. I posted that in the stream, and when I posted the assignment, that's what I wrote the due date in there. So just kind of beware that those are due Thursday before class, most of them. And then all of your other assignments should be graded already. If you turned in, so I graded them Friday afternoon, if you turned in something late since then, that has not been graded, but it will be. I typically only grade late work once a week, sometimes twice a week. It just kind of depends on how much time I have with other stuff. So moving forward, we're going to do a few like discussion questions. We're just gonna do them kind of as a whole. You guys can either chime in the chat or just say them out loud, what you think. Sorry, I'm typing the questions. So the first question is, what makes a buyer become a repeat loyal customer? So what do you think? You know, if you shop at Raley's, what makes you go back to Raley's? If you shop at Safeway typically, what makes you go back there? So kind of, and it doesn't just have to be grocery stores. Those tend to be the easiest examples for me. But what makes a buyer become a repeat loyal customer? So again, you can just say it out loud and just kind of, if we were in classes, we'd shout out your answers or type them in the chat. So good customer service. We're gonna wait until we get lots of answers.
You either need or want those items.
All right, need or want for those items. Quality products and sales, location, good prices. The product they sell could be at a better price than somewhere else. The community of the store, customer service is a backbone for returning customers. So kind of to piggyback off of that, why is customer service so important? What makes customer service important? Several of you said customer service, but why? They're welcoming to get the help that they want, a good reputation for their store and establishment, makes you want to go back, helps build trust, I agree with all of those things. Like for me, typically speaking, like when I go to Home Depot, I feel like they are a lot more likely to ask me when I'm walking around what I need help with. Whereas when I go to Lowe's, I don't typically get as much help and have to go look for people. Lowe's, I feel like, is cleaner and the environment's a little different, but I think the customer service, personal opinion, is better at Home Depot. So it also respect and professional behavior towards the customers, leaving good online reviews. So if you've never been to a store and you're kind of thinking, you might look at reviews. And so that's definitely helpful. Shifting gears a little bit. So this section is getting more for your money. How is demand created through advertising? So from the store's perspective, not yours now, how do they create demand through advertising? So by seeing something that looks cool, you want it. How do they create demand? How do they make you want something? Sales. I agree. I like a good sale. Making sure it actually is a good sale. Any other ideas on how they create demand? References to pop culture and celebrities, definitely. They could play a song that you like. They could have that celebrity that you know and like promoting their product, which might make you want it more. They could also say like for a limited time or limited quantities, which make you think that you need to hurry up and go get that product. And then one more question before we kind of jump into our notes. And all of these are going to come up in our notes. Why is comparison shopping important? So we haven't defined comparison shopping yet. We will, but it's exactly what I think you would assume it is, where you're comparing different prices and brands and of the same product essentially from different stores so that you can get the best deal. Why is that comparison shopping important? To save money. So that you know you're getting the most for your money. So you might not necessarily want to buy the cheapest one because then you might not be getting the most for your money. If you're buying something really cheap and it breaks, you know, in a week versus if you spend more and it's going to last you longer, you're getting more for your money then. I agree with those. Thank you guys for those of you that chimed in. With that, we will jump into our section 3 notes. So section 3 in chapter 3 is titled Getting More for Your Money. There's kind of 2 parts in the learning objectives. Again, you don't need to write the objectives down, but we're going to describe strategies used by the businesses to sell goods and services, both in meeting and creating demand. So if there are demands, how do they meet it? And then how do they create it to get new customers? And discuss strategies that you as the consumer can use before, during, and after a purchase. Again, we all want to get the most for our money. So what are selling strategies to meet existing demand? So demand that's already there. Convenience is the first one your book talks about. So location, payment options, most everywhere takes credit card payments these days or debit card, but that wasn't always the case. And then location, and it could even be online. Sometimes it's just more convenient to go online and order something that can potentially, depending on what it is, be here within a couple of hours or days, rather than having to go to the store. Customer service, a large percent of sales come from existing customers, so you want to keep them happy. So we want to get, these stores want to keep their customers happy to keep them coming back. And then the right product and price. A branding strategy is, first, this is a definition from your book, carrying well-known brand names to attract customers who are loyal to those brands. And that can kind of be any kind of store. The grocery store, you can have certain brands, maybe a shoe store, you know, maybe you prefer an iPhone or an Android versus the other one, but you want to make sure that your phone company would have that brand of phone. And then discount pricing, offering the lowest everyday price possible. So rather than having sales all the time, they just say, these are the best prices. Oops. Sorry, it's not loading right. I will come right back to that. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so again, that was existing demand to get people to keep coming back. And then to create new demand. So, you know, they still want to get new customers to increase their profit. They're going to advertise, informing consumers about products and encouraging them to buy. That's the definition from your book of advertising. So ads come in all different forms, as we'll talk about in just a minute, but they all have the same purpose: to attract customers. And they're typically created to reach a target audience, which is a specific group of people who are likely to buy a product. So I don't know how many people still watch cable. I know that it has gone down. But for example, when I put on like Disney Junior for my son, those commercials are a lot more of toys and other cartoons coming out. Whereas, you know, maybe some of your parents or somebody watch soap operas, and, you know, that, or just daytime television talk shows, those, you know, 9 to 1, 2 o'clock commercials. There's a lot more cleaning commercials, commercials for news. They're targeting who they think would be home watching TV from those hours and watching that station. Some of these other ones are very targeted as well. Newspapers and magazine advertising. Again, those are ways to advertise. The magazine advertisements, those are going to be based on the type of magazine that's being sold. Television and radio advertising, I just kind of talked about the TV part a bit. Internet advertising, I'm sure you guys have all seen it. It's on Google, it's on social media, and possibly you talk about something with a friend or a family member, and next thing you know, you're seeing an ad for what you were talking about. That's targeted towards you. Outdoor advertising, they can still be targeted, but it's more wide ranged. But outdoor advertising, that's going to be like your billboards and signs outside of stores. So those are more towards a larger group and not as small of a target audience. Direct advertising is the distribution of product information directly to consumers. So it's not a magazine, it's not the internet. So direct advertising, that could be like direct mail, something that comes specifically to you, to your house, a flyer, a catalog. Direct sales, when people go door to door selling something. Telemarketing, they're calling you directly, trying to speak to you. It's harder to avoid them when they come to your door or they call you. Transit advertising is ads placed on modes of public transportation or in public transportation areas. So it could be on the side of the outside of the bus, the sides on the inside. At the bus station, kind of, they have, the bus stops have some ads placed there. And it doesn't have to be a bus. Taxis are not as common, or at least around here. They could be there, or a train, but transit advertising is another form. And then other selling strategies, sales promotions are an incentive offered to customers to create demand. So an incentive offered to customers to increase demand. Coupons and free samples, those are also part of these kind of promotions. Coupons, they could come to you in the mail. They could, you know, sometimes they're just kind of a peel off on the side of a box or a can. Free samples, pre-COVID, if you went to Costco, you'd see them handing out samples. It kind of, they're trying to create that demand. And then a lot of stores offer customer loyalty programs, which is a program designed to encourage repeat business by providing special discounts and other incentives. So maybe you get certain coupons. Maybe if you spend so many dollars, you get this many dollars off your next purchase. Those are at grocery stores, retail stores. A lot of places have customer loyalty programs. You know, 7-Eleven has it nowadays. You just put in your phone number and it kind of keeps track for you. And they all offer different things. But the idea is to give you discounts or an incentive to come back in the future. So that was all kind of from the store side, creating demand and meeting demand. And then kind of looking on the other side for you as a consumer, what you should be doing. So before you shop, the most important thing to walk away from here is talking about comparison shopping. The definition goes to this period, but it's checking prices, brands, and quality among several sellers to make sure you're getting the best deal. Which we kind of talked to, some people chimed in about what they thought about comparison shopping already. So it's something hopefully you're already doing or thinking about. You may use the internet to compare prices. The internet we all have easy access to these days compared to before. So if you know exactly what model of something you want, you can just search different stores. Maybe you know you want to go buy something, I don't know, maybe you want a new speaker for a portable speaker. So you could kind of just do an internet search of comparing what different stores offer, what each one, the features of each one. You can look for coupons, see if they have any sales, check out product reviews. So if you're kind of comparing products. If you're car shopping, Edmunds.com is a great website. We'll do a car project, I think, towards the end of the semester. So we'll talk more about that then. But comparison shopping, super important to save you money, get the best deal. You also, before you shop, want to plan your purchase. You want to make a list and decide how much you'll pay to avoid spending too much. So it could vary, you know, especially setting that budget for bigger purchases like a car. Maybe you have an idea of what you want. You don't know the exact make and model, but you know you want certain features. You're going to want to set a budget, that top dollar amount, so you don't spend too much. Choose the best time to shop. Don't shop for groceries when you're hungry. You know, furniture stores, car stores, or salespeople, they often advertise that they have great sales going on around like Labor Day and the New Year. They offer holiday promotions. You'd want to see if those are actually the best deal, but that's when they offer them. And then research businesses. You want to check out the reputation of a vendor, especially if you're shopping somewhere new and it's not a well-known store. If you go to Better Business Bureau, it gives these reputable vendors a letter grade. But again, most importantly from here, I think comparison shopping, and then plan your purchases if they're large purchases especially. So that's before you shop. When you're actually out shopping, you want to avoid impulse buying. That's going to save you money. You want to read labels. It could be the ingredients. It could be the materials, like if you're buying a shirt that's 100% cotton, it's probably going to shrink. So if it's kind of a little tight already, you might not want that one. Understand sales terminology. You know, what does buy one, get one half off mean? If you're doing that for multiple items, you know, the 2 cheaper ones are what you're getting half off of. At a grocery store, kind of understanding the sales terminology. If it says 2 for $5, you don't have to buy 2 to get that price. They're telling you, they're saying that to try to get you to buy more of the product. If it's a larger purchase, you are going to want to read the contract. Yes, they are often very long and lengthy and you don't want to read them, but it is advised. And then you also want to compare unit prices. We'll look at what that means in a minute and we'll do some math on that. But basically, say a 6-pack of soda is $3, but a 12-pack is $5. You know, what's the better deal? And then computing your, total cost. So that's, if you have to use credit card and not cash, how much interest are you going to be paying? If this product also requires batteries, that's part of the cost before you can use it. Maybe it needs light bulbs. Maybe you're buying it online and you have to pay shipping and handling. So there's other things that might go into the total cost of that product. And then after you shop, you should keep your receipts and warranties. Evaluate your purchase. Again, do you have buyer's remorse? Was that a good idea? And if it was, great. If it wasn't, how do you avoid it in the future? And then be loyal. Obviously, that's up to you, but if a store has treated you good, then you're probably going to want to go back there. If you had a negative experience, you're probably going to share that with people. We did already talk about why is comparison shopping so important. And then we're going to move into some math tomorrow and Wednesday. So this kind of unit pricing is the cost of an item per unit or measure or count, such as dollars per pound or cents per dozen. So to calculate the unit price, it's the price per item divided by the measure or count. Again, we're going to do this on a worksheet, I believe on Wednesday. But you might see things like this at the store. So this peanut butter is $2.99. It tells you it's 16 ounces, and they calculate the unit price for you. So they did $2.99 divided by 16. So it's 18.7 cents per ounce. So if you're comparing this with either a different size or a different brand, you can see what one's getting you that better buy. So this, so that's kind of the same idea. On the left, we have this small jar of peanut butter, and on the right is a large jar of peanut butter. So the one on the left is $2.85 for 16 ounces. So the price per pound is $2.85. The large jar is $4.39, but it's 26 ounces. So the price per pound is $2.71. So you can see that the large jar is the better buy. Does that mean you need to buy the large jar? No, not necessarily. If you're not going to use the whole thing before it goes bad, then you're just wasting money. But it kind of puts it into perspective, comparing that unit price so that you are making sure you get the best deal. Like I said, we'll practice this, I believe, on Wednesday. And then, yeah, some math tomorrow, but it's not the unit price stuff. I think I saved that for Wednesday. That is our last slide for section 3. So just reminding you, we have your test on Friday. And I think your assignments, like I said, the due date is on Thursday this week before class. I switched some of it. So Make sure you are planning accordingly, and I will see you guys tomorrow.